War. War never changes.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of War Never Changes, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Jim, and as you can see, the trilogy has been reunited. You may recognize these men, but I will give them a proper introduction. First and foremost, the man, the myth, the legend, 50 caliber Phil McCracken. How are you today,
I'm doing
sir?
great, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing really good now that we got the other guy's audio problems sorted out. Who is the other guy? We like to call him the wheeling, dealing, loot box stealing, Twitch streamer extraordinaire, Two-Shot Willie. Welcome back to the show, Will.
Thank you.
We missed you.
I missed last week a lot. I was very disappointed I couldn't make it.
I missed the last 30 minutes of my life while we were trying to fix your headset as well.
That was all Skype. It was working everywhere else.
You know what's so funny is I said, hey, Will, why don't we do a test stream while we wait? Because Phil had to do some work stuff. And I said, let's test it out together. No, man, it works.
I did not say
well,
that 'cause I said the
31
same
minutes
thing.
later, bitch.
I said the same
Well,
thing.
we're glad to have you
We
back,
just got
man.
distracted.
That's okay. We're glad to have you back. And you know the name of the game. Phil's eyebrows say it all. It's time for another edition of Trash or Treasure, where I come up with 5 totally random things, and I hear from you two as to whether or not it is trash or treasure. First and foremost, we'll start with Phil. The Disney cartoon Tailspin.
Treasure.
Will?
Treasure.
That's trash. You're
I
both
watched
wrong.
the crap out of that show.
No. Really?
Yeah.
I was a DuckTales guy, and then Goof Troop. Tailspin was just too out there.
Dude, you
I
can
watched
like
DuckTales.
both.
Yeah, I like DuckTales too. I watched DuckTales too.
No, you can't like them both. That's the problem.
Fucking
Number 2, we'll start with Will. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
That was another series I haven't played a whole lot of, so I'm gonna go with Treasure for.
Phil?
I never played any Metal Gear Solid. I never played any Metal Gear series at all.
What kind of video game podcast is this? Metal Gear is a staple video game, gentlemen.
That's just like Resident Evil. That's another one I just got to get through the series we were just talking about.
Surprisingly, number 3, the Resident Evil series.
Now, this is bullshit. I just told you last night I've never played any of them.
Well, you had all day today, and instead of eating those pizza Pringles, you could have done something useful with your life and started playing
Played
Resident
all
Evil.
8 of them.
Working. I'm out of my house.
You're working on those
Adult.
Pringles, bitch. Listen, enough of you. Number 4, Phil, airboat rides.
Oh, Treasure, for sure.
Will?
I've never been on one, but I'd say Treasure.
What is with you guys? You've never been on an airboat
No.
ride. You've never played Metal Gear. You've never played Resident Evil, and you like
Jim, we
Tailspin.
can't
What
all
the
hide in
hell
our
is wrong
house,
with you?
Like, parting our hair, eating pickles, and playing weird video games all day, okay?
Weird video games. Dude, I guarantee you the comments section, namely the Bob and that other guy who is mean but now loves us, will come at you for saying that I'm wasting my time playing weird video games with Resident Evil and Metal Gear. These are staple game franchises.
I would agree. Definitely a lot of. I just haven't gotten to them. I
Number
played one
5.
of the Metal Gear, but I don't remember which one it was. It was a long time ago on a console, I think.
Number 5, Apple AirPods.
What were you
Whoever
asking?
wants to go first?
Go ahead,
Free
Phil.
for all.
Trash.
Trash.
Dude, those things are revolutionary.
I said trash because I know he has them and likes them so
I
much.
do. I was going to say they changed my life. Oh, not my life, but I always have one in. I have one in now listening to, another podcast for things to talk about. No. All right. Well, once again, another trash or treasure. I would like to say that this episode of Trash or Treasure was trash because you guys got every single one wrong again. I don't understand. Tailspin, fight me on. That is a subpar cartoon to just about anything else. Metal Gear, airboat rides are trash. They are boring and loud and hot and sweaty and not fun.
It sounds like you. That like your definition of a swamp boat ride sounds like you as a fucking human being.
Sweaty, not fun.
Not fun.
That's right. And loud. You're right. And loud.
You gotta add loud.
Not fun.
All right, I got a couple for you.
Go ahead.
How about that?
Go
You
ahead.
good with that?
I'm ready, baby.
All right, Jimmy, I'm gonna give you this one first, because I don't know if Phil knows what this is. Steam Link and controllers, the controller.
Oh, 100% treasure. 100%. Steam support for big picture, Steam Link, and their controller support is phenomenally amazing.
Phil?
Phil has
I
no
don't know what the
idea.
fuck that is.
Yeah.
Phil has no idea.
I have been frustrated. You're wrong, Jimmy.
Oh, well, thanks for watching. See y'all next week. Goodbye.
I don't know about their support. The link, I bought the link, hooked it up to my
Yeah.
TV to use it. I was actually got it when I was playing one of the Fallouts. And I was like, I just want to sit on the couch and play
Ooh.
this one.
Yes.
And hooked it up. It was laggy as crap. Plugged into Cat 5, everything, hooked it up, and then find out that my TV had a built-in app that worked better than actually the unit itself. How that makes sense, I don't know.
So you had the actual hardware, because I have one too before they discontinued it. It was like a fire sale. I got it for like $50 or something.
Yeah, little box.
And it works pretty well, but it has to be plugged in. Over Wi-Fi,
Oh
forget
yeah, I
it.
didn't even try over Wi-Fi. And the controller is nice. I like the controller itself, but I don't like that I can't just use it as a controller like an Xbox. Like
You talking about the Steam
Yeah.
controller?
I have
Oh,
to
yeah.
open up
Steam controller's trash.
big picture to.
The only controller you need is this baby right here, the Xbox Elite Controller Series 1. I've had this thing for 6 years, and it's never let me down. It's fallen apart, but it's never let me down.
It's falling apart, as in doesn't work. So it's not.
No, I mean, like the rubber's getting
Oh,
loose
okay.
here, but it's a little loose, but it works.
It's a little loose, but it works. Oh my god.
When we play Call of Duty, who is usually like at the top of the scoreboard?
Yeah, because
Phil.
you use auto aim with the controller.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's right. All right, listen, guys. I want to talk to you guys about Battlefield 2042. Now, I don't think you guys understand the level of excitement I have for Battlefield as a whole. So I'm going to say nothing but positive things. I suspect Phil may not be as rosy as me. So, Phil, I want to start with you first, and I want you to tell me what you thought of the world premiere 5-minute Battlefield 2042 trailer.
Well, just like holistically, it was captured in engine, so of course it's going to look good, and it did look great. I don't know that the narrative that they tried to get across was as clear as maybe they were trying to make it. I mean, I think I understood the undertones, which is that maybe America in the future is not the superior fighting force, but I don't know. I don't personally like that narrative, and I think you know that I'm not going to like that narrative. So, but it'll be an interesting, did either of you guys play Homefront?
I did.
Incredibly boring game. Incredibly boring game. And it was like a different concept, and I bought the game. I paid the full $60 for it, and I was solidly disappointed. I think Battlefield will do a better job at telling that story. But that narrative just doesn't do much for me. Other than that, the gameplay looked really impressive. The vehicle design looked good. The character design looked good. Having the mobility of the wingsuit, I think, is going to be interesting. It was nice that they covered the protagonist up with a helmet, so it's probably going to be your choice whether or not your special operative is a woman or a man. So it'll be more inclusive for women and maybe attract more female gamers to the warfighter genre. But I don't know. I thought it was a cool trailer. I liked the music. I liked that like rehashed version of that song because that's a great song. I like that they take us to different areas of the world, showcasing that, this isn't just going to be we're going to shit all over America on American soil. We're going to take this fight all over the world. launching a quad bike into a helicopter and doing a backflip in the air and somehow getting back in your Raptor. First of all, where did that RPG come from? Did he just have that up his ass? I don't understand that. That was a little ridiculous, but I would give that trailer a solid 7 out of 10, and I will buy and play this game for sure.
I have a lot of rebuttals to what you said, but first I want to hear, Will, what were your thoughts?
I've seen them do that though in the game, where they eject and pull out a rocket launcher and shoot, chasing them or whatever, and then
Yes.
catch back up to their own plane and get back in. I mean, I'm not a big Battlefield.
Yes.
I played some here and there, but I have not played it nearly as much. But I've seen videos of people doing that. But I was kind of down the line. Like I said, Battlefield was never one of my big, go-to games. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed a lot of time. We started playing it recently, a couple weeks ago or whatever that was, a month ago. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
It looked interesting. It looked cool. It kind of jumps around a lot. So I know you're kind of trying to cram everything in at once. I think it was Matt that was saying in Slack, that kind of jumping all over the place. Where, but it looks cool. I think it looks fun.
Yeah, they better deliver, because that game definitely takes itself very seriously based on what I saw.
It does. So the first rebuttal I'll say is the website has a lot of information, and I've read a lot of it because I am a super Battlefield nut. Phil, what if I told you the game does not have a single player story at all? Would that change your opinion on what you just said and what you think about the game, maybe?
Maybe, yes, but the main reason I'm going to buy it is not for the story mode. It's for you two hooligans.
Only that guy, wherever you are.
I am down to your left. I had to think about it. Yeah, there's no single player, believe it or not. This will be the first Battlefield game that has come out since really the original Battlefield 1942, way back in the Stone Age, that does not include a single player narrative at all. It will be solely multiplayer only. And you are right. Their tones did. Oh, yeah. See, that's what I wanted to ask you. I have only ever played one Battlefield single player game, and that was Battlefield 4. And that was for a recon weapon that you could only unlock by playing single player. I have no desire to play single player, so I don't care. But does that change your opinion, knowing it's a full-priced game?
A little bit, yeah. And I kind of have to question, is this really the route that we want to let them take? I mean, Jim, are you really okay with paying $70 for a game that has no base content? I mean, you're paying $70 basically for a key to log in and play with your friends when you can play Warzone for free.
That's what I was going to say, is you've got Warzone for free. I mean, and I agree. I played, was it Battlefield 5 and 1 or 4 is what we were playing.
We were playing
recently.
4 together, correct.
And
yes.
I played 5, which was one of the World Wars, right? I think it was 5.
Yes.
I've never played any of the single player content, but yeah, that'd be a little hard to. Again, if I'd buy it to play with you guys, and that'd mostly strictly be it. I don't even know if I'd touch the first player or a single player, but
yeah,
you've got Warzone and so many free games.
Jim, you have quite a following on YouTube. You're up to 4,000 subscribers and really good engagement on your videos. I mean, having, albeit it's not the biggest voice in the world, but having a voice within the community, are you really okay with being sold a $70 key for a multiplayer access? Is that really what we want to encourage in the industry?
I think fundamentally no, and I think that's a good point. For me personally, I don't care because, as I said, I don't play it. To me, most of the games I've played that have a single player and a multiplayer element to them, the single player is usually beaten very rapidly and almost completely forgotten for me. I don't let's play my annual playthrough of Halo. That's probably the only one I still go back and play from time to time just because Halo is very special to me. But Call of Duty's multiplayer, I have gotten my money's worth on that game 10 times over. The single player, I've already completely forgotten what it was about, and I don't care.
You liked Cold War's single player.
I did.
And do we really want to let the stories die? I mean, Halo is special to you because the story is so special.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I think the reason why Halo's different though because it's centered around one person, or in this case the UNSC, but really, John. That said, though, Battlefield has always been different characters in different places. You're the nameless, faceless protagonist here. You're nameless, faceless special ops. Well, maybe not nameless or faceless, but a throwaway. And honestly,
Pleased to meet you.
why is Siri talking to me? And and the other part of it, thinking like Call of Duty, can you name all the characters you played as? That's not me. Is it me?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that's not me.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Someone was trying to FaceTime me.
Is it somebody from Activision who's like mad? You listen here. Well, while Phil's doing his thing, what are your thoughts? Do you care that? Is this going to bother you? That would you not get it because you feel cheated? Should it be cheaper? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I would feel a little cheated, to be honest. I think I definitely agree with Phil's point that, all right, is this where we're going to keep pushing or letting them push to, you're already paying for, the extra content and the, DLC or the, battle pass, stuff like that. All the games are doing that now, and you're not even going to get a standard, standalone game on its own. I agree with you. On the other side, though, is I can't remember most of the single player games. Titanfall is probably the only one that I remember bits and pieces of it now because it's just been so long. But it would feel a little cheated. I can't honestly say if you guys bought it, I wouldn't get it just because of that. But
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I guess what we're saying here is that you're going to have to vote for your wallet, and what's important to you is what's important for you is how you're going to vote with your wallet. And Jim, I know that you're a reasonable and measured guy when it comes to things like this, and that you're excited for this franchise. But also, when you say that you're okay with it, you have to acknowledge that you're saying that it's okay that there's not going to be any more Captain Prices, and there's not going to be any more Frank Woods.
I love Frank Woods, and I would totally have his baby.
Well, you're saying that you're okay with that. There's not going to be any more of him.
Yeah, he definitely, and I think some of those Battlefield, I think, is a different animal. Battlefield, because I was starting to say before, you got your call. Battlefield has always jumped around in different points in time. There's not a linear story that connects everything through. Yes, everybody remembers Soap McTavish. Everybody remembers John Price. Frank Woods, he's cool. I don't know how much memorable he is. There were some other ancillary characters contained within the Call of Duty franchise as they've linked from game to game. But they haven't really done anything of consequence, really. They just kind of go, they win, they leave. They're never in danger. No one's really dying. I don't know. And I think that's the difference between that and Battlefield, where Battlefield really is more just random. Even the last couple of campaigns, you've jumped around from 20 different characters. When you die, you respawn as a new nameless, faceless guy, and you're like, okay, I'm going. It's not like you're just experiencing parts of the story in that sense. It's not like your character's talking and making decisions. You're just a cog in the wheel of war, essentially.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're making a lot of good points, but
but I understand what you're saying.
My argument will always harken back to we want more. We want more content, not less. We want more effort, not less. Because games keep getting more expensive. That means I want more fucking return for my dollar.
Or at least on par of what it's been, not less.
So the other negative part, and I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on this, the game director announced that Battlefield will not have a Warzone equivalent. This will only be multiplayer, as in the traditional deathmatch type sense. It will not be teams dropping in, whatever. Yep, there's no Battle Royale at all. Do you care about that?
No, because if we want to play Warzone, we can go play Warzone. Warzone,
okay.
They make stupid decisions like with the map, but it doesn't really matter when you get 4 or 5 of us or 3 or 4 of us together because we're just having fun regardless.
Yeah.
So if we want to play Warzone, we can go play Warzone or Fortnite or PUBG or
Or
whatever
Fortnite.
the fuck else.
No, you're right. There's definitely a lot of variants for Warzone. Is that Whack-A-Mole in the background? What is? Oh, there she goes.
Huh? Oh. She back there again?
Oh, her, my wife.
Gosh.
We're trying to record a show. Oh, there she goes. I don't care about either of those things, and I will freely admit that I may have pre-ordered it today. Maybe.
There's nothing wrong with that. If you want it, it's your money, dude. That's like telling people who have expensive bourbons they're not allowed to mix them with Coke. It's theirs. They can do whatever they want with it.
Do you remember, Phil, that time you gave me your credit card to help you pre-order a PlayStation?
Nah, bitch. I would have I get push notifications.
Do you?
I do.
Are you sure? Because I wrote down the numbers.
So, yeah. Anyways, so some positives, and then we'll move on to Call of Duty, because I want to compare and contrast, because they're taking a very different approach. There's no single player. There's no Warzone. It will feature 128 player combat, 64 v 64 on both PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, and PC. It'll drop down to 64 on last-gen consoles. They're bringing back really fan-favorite modes Conquest and Breakthrough, and the big emphasis is on their return of what they call Levolution, which basically means the levels will dynamically change. I know Will, you played a little bit of Battlefield 4 with us. You may remember hurricanes coming through. If you remember the siege of Shanghai when the skyscraper gets destroyed, there's typhoons, there's earthquakes, there's flooding. All of that's going to be back and more. There's going to be natural disasters that take place during the battles. So I think no two games will play the same. So I think I'm excited for that alone. I think I'm excited for
Those
that
are
alone.
interesting variables. And because you've purchased it, I will probably purchase it. And then Will probably purchase it. And we'll end up playing it. And if we hate it, oh well, I guess I'm out $70. Not the end of the world.
I don't know how
Well,
many games that has happened to me. Get this. 2 weeks in and nobody's playing it anymore.
You know what's better than that? Get a gaming PC so we can play XYZ and then never play any of them except for Warzone.
Did we play Among Us together?
Once. And I was horrible at it.
Well,
Well, it was
that's
the
because you
first time
never
we
play.
I didn't hear
It was
Listen.
fun though, wasn't it?
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess, with Battlefield, such a super fan. I mean, I know you guys haven't played like I have. I've bought every single Battlefield since the beginning of time, even Hardline, which was a total shit of a game. There's something special that was lost in Battlefield in the last couple generations. It had nothing to do with women on the cover, had nothing to do with the time zone or the timepiece. Like, they went back to World War II type games, World War I, old guns. I don't think it had anything to do with that. It just kind of lost its spirit. When I see things like Levolution, when I see 128 player combat, when I see them returning to Breakthrough and Conquest, game modes that everybody loves, we're going to get Rush back. It's a fun squad-based game that, unlike any other shooter I've played, rewards you for sticking together as a team and rewards you for working as a team in ways that games haven't. Not just more firepower in the doorway, but like inherent perks. You will pick your character class and your customization based on what your squads are doing. If you follow squad orders and the squad follows the commander's orders, you will be rewarded for that. And I think that's really, really cool. So that stuff's kind of lost in the narrative. Phil, last question on this. Did it bother you that we are being drip fed this? Like, don't you think they should just get on with the gameplay? Like, did this tell you anything that you didn't, like, what was the point of this event? To hype you up to show you a 5-minute movie? Like, who cares, right?
Yeah, if you're not prepared to speak to your product, maybe don't put it out there. I don't know. People were already excited about it. Like, you don't think that are you thinking that now maybe more people will turn in June 13th? The same people that were interested in this video are going to be there for June 13th.
Yeah. I agree. At least a little bit of gameplay. I mean, a little bit. I know you're doing the whole movie thing and hyping it up and all that. And
yeah,
but
in our earlier videos, Jim and I pretty much lambasted most major developers because their captured in-engine bullshit means fucking
It
nothing.
doesn't. Yes.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, the game's not going to look like that. Hopefully it'll look like half as good as that and we'll be blown away. But yeah, there's no way a game is going to run that smoothly with those perfect timed cinematics, those perfectly timed hero moments with the music flaring up. It's not going to happen. I agree 100%. So in stark contrast to that, our favorite here, Call of Duty, which we talk about pretty much every week. Finally, we get a title for the next Call of Duty. It's going to be called Call of Duty Vanguard. It's going to take place during World War II, featuring predominantly on the Pacific theater, which, I mean, is really most of World War II, let's be honest. At least half of it, right? The question, we'll start with you. Are you excited for another Call of Duty game? So we'll start there. Are you ready for something new?
Not extremely. I mean, I'd be curious. We've done the World War II thing over and over, and I know there's not a whole lot of different directions you can go with it, but I'm more into the cool tech, the more futuristic stuff than going back to World War I or II again. I don't know, I'll definitely take a look at it. It's Call of Duty. I don't know how many Call of Duties I've played now, but it's not like jumping out at me, screaming at me, excitement.
Phil, what do you think?
I have a deep love for our history, especially American military history. And so the Pacific and the European theaters, VE Day, VJ Day, D-Day, all that stuff resonates very deeply with me. However, I purchased the last Call of Duty World War II game, and it was the biggest hunk of shit ever.
Ever?
And I have, like Will said, going back to the 80s and 80s technology and 80s guns was a little bit of a stretch for me. Going back to World War II, where the best you can hope for is like a Thompson or a M1 Garand or like some dually 357 Colts. It's tough, man. It's tough. I want to move forward and have good. I want to have modern weapons. I don't want future stuff. If I want futuristic stuff, I'll go play Halo. I just want modern warfare. And I know that they can't keep doing that over and over again unless they hired, I don't know, like talented writers to tell a fucking progressive story. I don't know. I'm not into it, and I'm really hoping that one stupid little cool thing that makes you buy it, Jim, so then I have to buy it so that we can play it together.
I'm the linchpin here.
I'm hoping that we can just play the new Warzone maps and leave it at that.
Yeah, so I am not excited for this one. And I think really in combination with the fact that Battlefield's coming out, and I am such a Battlefield nut, and maybe I'm willing this game to be better than it will be, and we don't know yet. I am so much more excited for Battlefield and Halo Infinite. I don't see me getting into this Call of Duty. And this will be the first Call of Duty that I've skipped in a long time. That it doesn't do anything for me. This time zone, or this whole era, like you said, Will, it's been played out beyond belief. If I have to play with another freaking steam-powered submachine gun or listen to that M1 do that cling when the bullets run out, I'm going to shank somebody. And it's only me and my wife that live here, so she probably doesn't want me to get it either.
Tom Nook, who's actually not been returned to his spot, is going to get fucking McShanked.
That's right, Tom Nook. You missed it last week, Will. Tom Nook has been relocated. I bought it for my wife as a present, and it ended up
for
here.
My wife, or
it's not here. It might be right next to me over here off screen. You just don't know, but it's definitely not behind me. Yeah, so I think that's what bothers me. So not only just the contrast between Battlefield 2042, which, obviously future tech, seems like it's going to paint a cool narrative about what's going on in the world with all these natural disasters and resources. They talk a lot about private military companies coming up. Contrast that with, the beloved, very immortalized at this point, World War II. They have said also they're going to actually introduce this game through Warzone. and they're going to actually do in-game events in Warzone to get you ready for a World War II game.
So is that just going to be you're going to play the map, you're going to play the weapons? What does that mean? You're going to have a mode that's like a mini version of it? At that point, why not just release it on Warzone?
That's the question, right? I mean, that's what I think people want to know is what's going to happen with Warzone as we know it. They have said they will be introducing a new map that will be Pacific themed. They said it will be unlike any Warzone map they've ever played. We heard that before when we went back to Verdansk 15 years map. Or whatever. Right? So we're going to go back to that, I guess. I don't know. I guess the other part I wonder is, you know, how are they going to tie in the progress and everything they have now and make World War II weaponry relevant? How do you think that is going to play out?
That's what I'm confused about. How do you jump back to all the old guns? You're already doing a new map. Like, I don't even understand. I don't know how you're gonna do that. I mean, how does everybody starts over in that map or that mode with level 1 guns, and the more you play it, the more you level up those guns again.
Right.
You know, you kind of already have the Black Ops and then the Warzone and the upgrading both guns or this gun or that gun.
I feel like with at least 1984 guns versus Modern Warfare guns, at least you can be competitive. A machine gun is a machine gun is a machine gun. I don't know with these bolt rifles, slow, no irons, just iron sights, no laser scopes, no stabilizers. You're telling me that you're going to be competitive running around with one of those like bayonet guns while I'm shooting you down the hall with an MP5? Like, I just don't see that happening.
There will still be Brownings. There will still be Browning 50 calibers that can be taken off their tripods. I mean, to shoot it would basically be sacrificing your left hand.
You're gonna run around with a Browning M2. At least the BAR is meant to be run around with.
Bars, and then there's all like the German era weapons, and German weaponry was pretty advanced for its time. So you will have automatic weapons, but you're right, dude. It's not like if you could give me an M243 versus a Browning or any of those old shitty German guns, right? I'm just gonna destroy you because the fire rate and accuracy is so much better.
I mean, I assume, and this is just me assuming this, that they're going to continue. And what I think made Cold War so appealing for me was that all of my progress and all of my weapons from Modern Warfare carried over. Battle Pass carried over. And it was just my basically Call of Duty account at that point. All the characters I had unlocked, all the things I had done just roll in. It only makes sense that they would continue that with a World War II game, but it's just such a technological leap. The skins, the weaponry, the feeling of that war versus the Cold War versus the Modern Warfare, it seems like such a stretch, and I just feel like the weapon balance is just going to be atrocious, and it seems like a really risky move. I just don't see how it pays off because it's not like people are dying for a World War II.
It's not risky. It's flat out stupid. We keep telling them, don't give us another World War II game. We're done with the Pacific theater. We're done with the European theater. I get it that like Vietnam would be maybe a little touchy, or like the Korean War might be like a little boring, but I'm sure that there's some interesting stories you can get out there in either of those two. Not that we would want either of those because again, old weaponry, but like, can we just get like a main protagonist that could live more than 2 games for Modern Warfare and just build a new franchise around that person? Is that too much to ask Activision?
Yes.
Well, and like you just said, Jim, you're not even talking about the guns and stuff. I mean, even the skins. I mean, all the current operators in Warzone and stuff like that, they're not going to fit into, you know, you're saying. So you have to do new skins,
it's
new
not going to make
guns.
sense.
You know, okay, you'll have a new map, but
I mean, let's face it. John Rambo storming the hills of Normandy would be pretty cool. Bruce Willis on the Midway, shooting the 50 cal, screaming, barefooted with his, you know, stained wife beater. Yeah, you'd get a kick out of it, but like my park glam skin with the 80s glow sticks and the little stars and the hot pink jacket, like the world that, you know, that was, if it's more water-based, I assume Pacific, or, you know, maybe more based than, I don't know, on land somehow. I just don't see that really working aesthetically. It just seems like at that point, not that Modern Warfare has to be grounded in reality, because it's not, but it just seems that it's such a long stretch at that point. I don't know what the point of that is. If you want to make a map that's based around water and boats, make a map that's based around water. We don't have to have a game based around it.
Yeah.
I think it's a big mistake. I really do. And I want to be wowed. I want to be excited. But, statistically, if you go back and look at the Call of Duty sales, Call of Duty World War II is one of their lower selling games. And I think it's exactly what Phil was saying. People are just like, I am so tired of the U-boat crashing on the shore for the 7,000th time and your best friend dying as soon as the doors open, and the pain and the stuff. We get it. We've been there. We've done it. We've seen the movies 100 times over by now.
Well, that's the problem going back like that. I mean, it's happened, so you kind of have to stick to how it was. You can't change a whole lot. Where now you could do even 80s up to now. There's not a huge jump in technology. There's not a huge jump in weapons or anything like that. Right. And you could do this war, that war, Iraq or Afghanistan. You could move over to different places, stuff like that, and still have a completely different game, but still kind of staying in the same time frame where, like you said, you're running out of the U-boats for the 700th time, 700,000th time.
It's just not a game people asked for, and it's weird. E3's coming up next week. Phil and I talked a lot about that last week, just kind of predictions of what we thought may end up coming, and we're just as curious as everyone else. But I know that when I saw when Battlefield was announced, people lost their minds. Now, Battlefield isn't an annual franchise, as we haven't had one in many years, but that got the internet popping. There's a lot of forums going around on Reddit, Reset Era, NeoGAF. People are talking about this. The exact opposite is happening with Call of Duty. People are making fun of it, saying the same things we're saying, like, oh my God. So I don't know. This is an Activision Blizzard. They have committed all in on Cold War. On Call of Duty. And they've closed many, many studios to support this game now. So I've got to believe they think they have a hit on their hands and they're not going to stop the train. But this may be a vote with your wallet situation, Phil, where we say no.
I would like to.
We're not doing it.
Unless we find out more news about it that's like mind-shattering, I vote that we.
And I will eat my words.
No, please, can we vote no, please?
I pre-ordered. No, I didn't.
When are they both due to come out? I didn't pick up on that in any of the articles.
Battlefield has been announced for the end of October. I want to say it's like October 22nd. Call of Duty has no release date yet. They haven't really shown anything official. The only thing they've said is we're going to announce it soon, and we have a name for it. It's called Vanguard. And I think their world premiere for that is a couple weeks out, but they said it's going to be mostly in-game through Warzone. So any promotion or hype or whatever is going to take place somehow in that, either through a special event or a cutscene or I don't know what. That's kind of where they're.
Now, do you think they're going to do like the last one and do the big events in the middle of the day while everybody's working and end it at 5 p.m. Eastern time?
Right, that's the thing.
Why can't we just progress the story from Cold War? Why can't we just go into the 90s now and like go towards modern weaponry? Like, why can't we have Operation Desert Storm or Operation Enduring Freedom or Operation Iraq? I don't know. Why can't we deal with that stuff? They had a weird alternate timeline of existence with Stitch and his nuclear bombs anyway. Like, why can't we continue exploring that path? Right. Why do we need a World War II game? This is textbook Blizzard being a horrible customer-facing company and doing shitty things to their customer base and just being dickbags. And this is also Activision just in all their glory of never listening to us ever.
Yeah.
How often, I guess I haven't paid that much attention. How often do the Call of Duty games come out? I mean, Cold War just came out.
They are annual. Call of Duty's been an annual franchise for as long as I can remember. The last 10 years. There may have been a time where I don't know if they ever skipped a year. No, the closest they came was when they released Call of Duty 4, which was a Blackout. It was only a multiplayer mode, and that was like the last minute. That was like, oh shit. That was like the beginnings of Battle Royale. But they have never missed a year. They are an annual franchise, and they've been an annual franchise for a very long time. Battlefield, 3 to 4 years on average. I mean, we're due for a Battlefield game, so I don't think this announcement's too surprising to people. I think we're all ready for it.
Yeah, Call of Duty peaked at Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And Modern Warfare 2 was also a really good game, and I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. But that Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare will probably go down as one of my favorite games ever.
Modern Warfare 3 was my jam. That and Titanfall were the only two games I was ever called a cheater. I love the akimbo.
The double pistols.
Oh, you weren't a cheater. You're just a piece of shit.
Oh no!
Did you have a shield on your back
No,
by
I
any
hate
chance
the
and a
shields.
kendo stick?
What are the FMG 9s? I love those things. Those things had like a 10-foot range. You couldn't hit anything past 10 feet on those.
Yeah, well,
And yet you were still a
sliding
cheater.
and jumping and running around with a fucking
Oh,
shield
yeah,
on his
dude.
back.
No. You can still shoot me. I don't have the shield like in Warzone. I hate that thing.
Yeah, nothing like shooting a guy 30 times and then he pops a different color and runs away and you're like, what just happened? You're like, oh, I broke his shield. It's like, dude, I put 40 fucking rounds in his back. He just walked away. Yeah, this might be a good example, Phil, of a franchise that really needs to think of where they want to go. Clearly, they have decided that Warzone is going to be their linchpin. They've decided that this is going to be, this is going to be the common thread for all Call of Duty games. And Warzone, extremely popular. We play it a ton. It makes sense, but this just seems like maybe a bad move, and maybe you're right. Maybe we quit jumping around in timelines and we try to tell a more linear story. Maybe that draws people in. I don't know, but they clearly don't need my advice. I mean, they're making trillions and trillions of dollars a year on this. It's the best-selling franchise ever, and it continues to break its own records every year, despite the one year it had with World War II. So people like it. It's selling well, but...
Guys, hear me out. All right.
Here we go.
I know that the last time we did this, it fell on its face, but this time we're going to get it right.
Go ahead.
Fuck out of here.
We'll see. Moving on to, and you guys might not have a lot to talk about on this, but I have plenty. What are you playing? And I'll start with you, Phil. I know the answer, but I want to hear, what are you playing?
Resident Evil 7.
Holy shit, you started Resident Evil 7?
No.
Oh. I was going to say, I was like, holy shit, because I've been begging you to play this game for like 10 years, and I've only known you for like 2.
24 hours you've asked me to play this game.
That is a lie. That is a lie, and such a lie. No way, dude. I mentioned this game a year ago.
I am going to look into the Resident Evil franchise, but what I'm playing is whatever you guys are playing.
I knew that was your fucking answer.
I don't play games by myself. I don't have time or an interest.
So, how about you, Will? You playing anything besides the usual suspects?
No, mostly with you. Me and Palmer got on with Borderlands pre-sequel. We're on the pre-sequel. We've been playing through all the Borderlands together.
What do you think of the pre-sequel?
I like them. I love Borderlands. That's one of my favorites. I love the storyline, and the jokes are half the game. It's not even just the gameplay.
That's enough.
I haven't played 3 yet because we're doing it chronologically.
Okay.
But, we played through 2 together, and
2 was good.
Then went back to the pre-sequel, and then we're gonna be going to 3. But I love Borderlands. I love Claptrap. It annoys the crap out of me as you hear me wheeling around. I can't jump to certain spots because I'm so short.
Yeah, I was going to say Claptrap is my go-to character in Borderlands. And I love him so much, and he's great. That's one of the few collector editions I regret not buying. They had a like robotic Claptrap. It was like 2 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
It was like $300, and I'm like, I don't want that. And then it sold out instantly, of course, because, why wouldn't it? And then I wanted it, and I was like, oh.
That would have been cool. I was gonna get one of those little pop Funko pop statues, whatever they're called, figurines.
Oh yeah, the little pop vinyls of Claptrap.
But other than that, just whatever we're playing, normal games.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been jamming to Resident Evil 8, which has been trying to get you two bozos to get into the series because it's phenomenal, and you're totally missing out. You really need to play Resident Evil 7. I don't know how I could say it any other way. Resident Evil 8 is even better than 7, if that's even possible. Really good story, lots of jump scares, lots of horror, lots of funny, lots of just everything thrown in there. It's good. And I've also been still limping through Returnal. I made it back to the 3rd boss, for the second time ever, and I got him to half health on his third health bar, which means I almost beat him. And I couldn't do it, and I almost threw my controller. I did the thing where I grabbed it and I threw it, but I held on to it. You know what I mean? I was like, "Ugh," and I just brought it down.
And then you're mad because you didn't throw it.
Then I was mad because I didn't throw it.
I can't throw it. That made me
I
more
got
mad.
up. I think I punched something, the couch maybe, and I stormed off. And then I was like, oh yeah, I got to go turn the TV off. I turned back around, turned the TV. Then I went downstairs.
He punched the
mad.
couch. It didn't make an indent. All it did was hurt his wrist.
Yeah, I broke my wrist. Yeah. Darn it.
So we talked about it for a second.
Yeah.
Is Resident Evil worth going back and playing all of them, or just jumping right into say 7? Or
from a nostalgia purpose, for me and for a diehard Resident Evil fan, yes. I want to experience the story from the beginning, no, because it's really janky. Unless you're drunk, don't play Resident Evil 1. It's bad. It's really bad.
Okay.
There's a lot of... So the history with Resident Evil 1, just to give you an idea of the game you may be playing, if you decide to go back to the old ones. When the voice actors for Resident Evil 1 got the script, they were not given any context. And the lines they were given wasn't the whole script, okay?
It was just say this word, these few words.
It was just phrases. So what they ended up doing was they couldn't figure out how they wanted to include the game. They read the lines many different ways. So the hello could be nervous, hello, or it could be mad, hello. They didn't know. And the producers who actually edited the game were from Japan. They didn't understand the words. They just picked the ones that sounded good. So the inflection is like a really bad dubbed movie. It's like, how are you? I'm good. Great. It doesn't make any sense. The story's batshit crazy. So if that interests you, play the first one. They did slightly get progressively better, but I really would, if nothing else, if you're limited on time, start with 7. You don't need to know anything going into 7. Play 7. It'll lead right into 8. It's a brand new protagonist, brand new everything. And I think you would really enjoy it. It's a very, very modern game. They learned a lot, and it's actually not campy. It's just legitimately good.
So I've got Resident Evils to go through, Mass Effects to go through, and
Metal Gear.
Solid Gear. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear is a game you should play just because Kojima is a mastermind, and the guy just does incredible work. A lot of fourth wall breaking, a lot of really clever mechanics that don't he does stuff that makes you think is it a game or is it not a game, and it really makes you think, and it's actually still relevant today based on some of the topics about political control, gun violence, manipulation, government manipulation, Big Brothers, all of that's tied into a story, but it actually has some good heart to it, and all the games tie in together very well. There's 5 of them you'd have to go through.
Are they all on PC?
That's a really good question.
Sure
I'm sure they are. Yeah, I was going to say, I remember playing it back in the old PlayStation days, and the characters were really grainy and gross. I'm sure they've remastered it so many times by now. I'm sure you could find it somewhere. But yeah, it's a good tale of espionage, but it's self-aware, and the gameplay's fun. Being a spy is just cool. I don't know. That's what I would say. The only thing I had to wrap up is, Will, we didn't get a chance to talk to you about E3 last week. You may or may not know E3 is my personal holiday of upcoming game releases. I know we talked a little bit about Battlefield and Call of Duty. Is there any game, it doesn't have to be a specific sequel, but is there any type of game genre that you're really jonesing for, that you're man, I wish they would make a pirate game. I really wish they'd make a whatever. Is there any game that would get you as wound up as Battlefield 2042 got me?
Titanfall 3.
Oh my god, dude, right?
That would get me that would get me really excited right off the bat, just flat out, like you are with Battlefield.
Would you want a new story?
I don't. I could do it either way. If they could tie it in, that'd be nice. But
Do you
I wouldn't
talking
have
about
to.
protagonists? Do you remember the name of the protagonist in Titanfall 2?
Jack?
That's right, Jack. I don't remember his last name, just Jack.
I can't remember his last name.
But it ended on a cliffhanger. That's why we need more. We need more
Yeah.
Titanfall.
Yeah, I could do definitely Titanfall.
Okay.
I watched your guys' the podcast from last week. I did love the Splinter Cell sneaking around.
Yeah.
Those kind of games. I played one of the Splinter Cells all the way through. That was fun. I like that kind of stuff. Something different. But I'm just up
You
to
just
the
fart over there, Phil?
No, I was upset that he'd only played one all the way through.
You're a big Splinter Cell fan, Phil?
Love Splinter Cell, Siphon Filter, Splinter Cell, all
I'm
those
just kidding.
games.
I know. You mentioned it last week because
You
I was really
silly
confused
boy,
because you kept
yeah.
saying, I hope Ubisoft makes another Siphon Filter. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I understood what you meant. You want another Siphon Filter. And then hopefully Ubisoft will make us, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make one. I think Sam Fisher's dead. I think he's done.
Fuck
Bury
you.
that guy.
Fuck you. All right.
He'll never die.
I agree. I'm really excited because this will be it. You know, today's what's today? Wednesday the 9th. I'll upload this probably tonight. It'll go live tomorrow, Thursday the 10th. E3 kicks off officially tomorrow. The game I would lose my shit for, but I know it's not real, is the Division 3. It's way too soon for the Division 3. Way too soon. But I would lose my mind for the Division 3. And how cool would it be if all of us, yet another game we all got into, could go out and play the Division 3 together as 3 people.
Okay, so on that note, when are we going to start 1 and 2?
I have played 1 and 2 so
Are you
many
done with
times. I own them both on PC. I will gladly play either of them with you. I probably still have my old saved characters on the cloud, and if not, I would gladly start a new one. Phil and I still need to finish Warlords of New York on PlayStation for Division 2. But I don't care. I would play. I would have multiple accounts. Division's one of those games to me that's just so fun and so pretty that even though I could basically tell you the story and the characters and everything, and it's pretty bland, but I would do it 100 times over just because the gunplay and the combat is just so phenomenal.
Do you have them both on PC, or does it cross-platform? I don't remember.
Why don't you just go buy a PlayStation?
Ooh, the gauntlet's been
You
thrown.
just buy
PC
the-
Master Racer reaches out to the console nation. Go ahead. Fight it out, boys.
Tenth of
Fight
a
it out.
cost game. One's probably free now.
Phil
You
makes a
PC,
good point.
you're moving over to PC Master Race. You don't go backwards. You go forward.
I don't know that a PS5 is necessarily backwards.
You know, Phil, I will say in Will's defense, you were just talking about how there's no computer games to play, and he brought one up, and you immediately said, let's go
When
back to
did I
PlayStation.
say there's no computer games to play?
You said you said we're not playing any computer games with you. You said, like, I bought this gaming computer, nobody wants to play with me. Hey, you want to go play PlayStation 5?
No, I said you guys talked about all these different games you wanted to play, and then I should buy a gaming PC. And by the time I got the gaming PC, nobody was playing those games anymore.
Sir, do you have Xbox Game Pass?
Yes.
Will, do you have Xbox Game Pass?
Yes.
There are over 100 games right now on Xbox Game Pass that you said, hey, if you said, hey guys, I would love if we all installed and played blank, we would say, okay, and we would all play the game.
I could do that.
Okay. Cool.
I would ever find a new one. Is Division 1 worth going back and doing, or just jump into 2? Me and
I
Palmer
like the
started
Division 1 so much, yes, because especially when the answer would depend on how much you care about the Division 2. If you're going to get into the DLC of Division 2, then I think you should play 1 because you revisit places in 1 and it's radically different. If you don't care about that, then I would say 2 is newer. It's got everything 1 had but better. The graphics are better, the gameplay's better, the story's better, the music's better. One is in the past. Let's start with the
I
new
like
stuff.
all the story. That's why, talking about going back into a Mass Effect, and I installed Mass Effect, the original, not the remastered. I like going back and,
Yeah.
like you said, kind of for the nostalgia, the history of just doing it. So, I mean, I'd be down for both of them if you guys are. Or whoever
The
was.
last game, yeah, whatever. You guys, I'm down. You tell me. You know me. I play games. Believe it or not, I play a
Yeah.
lot of games, so
That-
I'm
that-
down to
That's
play
what I was
some
gonna
more.
say earlier. Is you have a whole lot more time than some of us.
The one thing my last hype moment, and I don't think I mentioned it last week, Phil. I really want a new Ghost Recon game. I know we had Breakpoint a couple years ago. It was trash. I want a new one. You guys, both you guys I know are into guns, like the real ones. You would love Ghost Recon Wildlands. I have it on computer. It's older. I would play it again. I'm not saying buy more games, but I would encourage you guys to look into it because some of the fun that me and Jemp had with Kevin and Matt, I don't know if Ryan played with us or not, but you could all lay around a building and mark targets, and it would put a little like 1, 2, 3, 4 on people's heads, and everyone would be snipers except me because I don't know how to snipe. And they would all say, okay, Jim's going to run into the base because I don't snipe, and he's going to start shooting, and we need to make sure that Jim does not die because Jim is Rambo and he's not waiting. So you have to mark the targets, and on the count of 3, we're all going to shoot so that guard 1 doesn't alert guard 2, guard 3 doesn't alert guard 4. 1, 2, 3, shoot. And as I'm running across the field, as a chick, of course, why not? My long, beautiful hair blowing, my machine gun, usually a Vector, running like this, and my tactical run, I hear and you see on the screen everybody just drop, and I walk right in the front door without a single person touching me. And I know you guys smiling up there, you would love something
Yes.
like that, and I would totally do that again in a heartbeat.
Yes, that.
But I'm not sniping. I'm just watching and I'm running, and you got to figure it out. Keep me alive.
I tend to go one
So
way
we-
or the other, like Borderlands, stuff like that. I either like Gunzerker, rush in and just try to blow through everything all at once, or sit there in the back and pick off one guy at a time. And
It's a tactical shooter where headshots kill people. There's bullet drops. Guards hear bullet velocity. It's everything you want a realistic shooter to be, and I think that's where the money is. That's what I'm hoping for. So, all right. Well, with that, it looks like Phil is hungry. Are you hangry, Phil?
No, I've just got a billion things going on. People calling me.
I could tell. Well, we're glad we had the Dream Team back, the trilogy as I've dubbed us. The question is, will we be back next week, 3 men strong? I guess everybody at home will just have to tune in to find out. Before I pass it over to Phil for closing remarks, Will, assuming you never come back, what do you want to say to the fans? I'm just kidding. Anything you want to say to wrap up? I'll leave it at that.
no, I think that's good.
All right, fuck you, everybody. All right, Phil, anything, sir?
Yeah, no, thanks
We covered
for
it all.
everyone. We appreciate it, Will. This is the part where you shut the fuck up. We appreciate everyone tuning in. And much like Will is not smart enough to operate his computer, his headset, or his camera, war also never changes.